Well, good morning, everybody. So our theme with Unity of the Oaks this year is You Are Powerful Beyond Measure. And of course, that comes from the Marianne Williamson quote from her book, A Return to Love, which probably you've heard before in the past. Of course, we also talked about it in our January 1st video. I know all of you watched the January 1st video, right? Yes. Sherry Hersey, who made the video, just said yes. Good. Okay. So we'll do a little recap for all of us then. So in A Return to Love, Marianne Williamson writes this, and it's up here. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. She writes, our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. So that's what we're going to be jumping into this year. How can we embrace our light, our innate power, and stop playing small? So last week we had our white stone service in which your higher self, your intuitive self, chose a word for you to guide you through the year and for you to embody this year and express this year. And so here's that reminder once again that when we're powerful beyond measure, that word that you'll be embracing, that's you being an extension of the allness of life, the divinity of life, the intelligence of life itself. You are a part of it. So when you shine your light, when you really embrace and embody that spiritual intention, what you're doing is you're stepping into your power, your true self, your divine self, and you're remembering who you are. And then when you remember who you are, well, that's you expressing God in the world, that one power and presence in the world. And so that white stone name, your attribute this year, what's so interesting also is that as you embody it, as you express it, then what you're doing is creating your life. Do you see that? Because the more that you hold on to, this is who I am, and this is who I'm going to be, well, then your life gets created that way, because that's that vibration, that heart frequency that is then going out into the world. This is our second unity principle up here. It says we have 5 in unity. If you're new to unity, we have 5 unity principles. This is our second one. We are co-creators with God, creating reality through thoughts held in mind. And of course, our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, often said, with strong emotion. So it's not just I think about it like, yeah, I'm going to get $1 million. But if the deep feeling inside is, I don't think I can get $1 million, then it's that deep feeling, again, because we're vibrational beings. We send out waves of energy. And so if we're going to be, whatever we're sitting in is what we're then creating. That's how we're powerful beyond measure. So as we hold on to that spiritual intention for the year, that white stone name for the year, we then are creating our lives. So here is what's so great. Yes, you are powerful beyond measure. Yes, you do deserve to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. And I know sometimes being powerful beyond measure can be overwhelming. It can feel a little scary. So my older son, Julian, and of course, whenever I share a story, I've asked permission, just so you know. Don't think I'm going to get a call or text from Julian going, thanks a lot, Mom, for sharing that story. I've already told him, because he was sharing with me when he was with us last week for 5 days. You know, he's in Florida now, and has this plan to move to Atlanta, Georgia, because that's where all the movies are starting to get produced in Atlanta. And, of course, his degree is in television and documentary filmmaking. So he just has to get to Atlanta. We've got people to get him jobs there. But he was saying to me, you know what, Mom? I get to create my life. I mean, he grew up in Unity, right? So he's like, I get to create my life. And that's also really scary. And I thought, can't we all identify with that? That's why I asked him, can I share that? Because I feel that I have at times felt like, wow, I get to create this. And, oh, that's kind of scary and intimidating, anxiety-producing, overwhelming. When we have a big dream or a name that we want to step into. Yeah. So being powerful creators can be both exciting and overwhelming. There's a lot of choices in life, as it turns out. And so he was saying, no one does it for you. No one's going to do it for you. If you have a dream or goal, you can hand it over to others to do it for you. But really, it's you who has to do it for yourself. So he was saying, when I was in school, it was someone telling me, take these classes, live in this dorm, you're eating this food in the dorm, you're going to work 5 hours over here at this location on campus. Everyone was making a choice for him. Now everything's wide open. And isn't that true for all of us in the adult world, right? That no one is going to but us tell us where we may want to work or what field we want to work in or how we want to show up in life or what food you eat or if you exercise or not. All of those choices are ours and how we start to create our lives and how we step into our power. So this whole idea of being powerful beyond measure can be intimidating sometimes. And I love Marianne Williamson says it right here in the quote. It's not our darkness, but our light that frightens us. Yeah, this idea of being powerful creator can be exciting and overwhelming. So I thought, well, let's start here. A couple reminders, and then how do we get past those fears or those resistance of being in our power? So this first reminder is, remember that the universe created you as a unique being, that you are here to express a part of life that no one else can express in the same way. I cannot sing like Sherry Hersey, nor do you ever want me to try, right? She is here to express that one power and presence in that way. And each of you also have your own strength, skill, gift, light to share and express in the way that the universe has created you to be. I'm emphasizing it right here, everyone. If the universe gave it to you, then it's yours to do. Whatever skill or strength or idea that has come to you, then the universe gave it to you. And it's yours to do. So if you're overwhelmed by the idea of being powerful beyond measure, that you're a co-creator of your life, and you start to get frozen in the headlights, so what are we going to do? So here's 7 different steps we can take. First, we're going to remember, right? We're going to remember, hey, universe gave it to me. It's mine. But when we feel overwhelmed, whatever it is that we're trying to move forward into, the first thing we need to remember to do, take a breath. Take a breath. And science now knows that actually stopping and taking a breath calms our nervous system. It puts us back in the now moment. It gets us planted back into our body. So we take a breath. And our central nervous system gets out of freeze mode. Then the next thing we can do is just take one small step. So a lot of times we see a big goal in front of us or something huge in front of us, and we think, how am I going to accomplish that? It's like that joke, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? It's a terrible joke, I just realized, but sorry, I'm a vegetarian too, but it's that idea of just one step at a time. So with Julian, originally, we were going to be moving him to Atlanta, but there was a lot of anxiety and fear there, and so he'd gotten as far as going to Atlanta and finding an apartment, but he hadn't put in the application. He hadn't even chosen the date to move. And I totally understand this because I've just done a big move here, and I said, Julian, I get it. It looks really big and overwhelming. How am I going to get an entire church from this location to that location? And what we have to do with those big goals and dreams is to say, okay, right now, today, I'm just going to pick the date of the move. And now tomorrow, I'm just going to call and research some moving companies. I'm not even going to make an appointment with them. right? And maybe a couple days later, you put your application in for the apartment. We break it down into small parts so it's not so overwhelming for us. One small bite at a time. The third thing we do is we feel the end goal. Feel the joy of it. Really sit in it and be in it. And then take another little small step. And then go back to returning to, what does the end result feel like? Because when this felt overwhelming, this is what I felt. I would sit in this feeling of all of us here in our home together. The joy and the love of this moment. So whatever that goal or dream is that for you, really sitting in. And maybe it's as simple as, I want more inner peace. That's my end goal. That's my intention for the year. Okay. So sit in and just feel for a moment. What would that inner peace feel like? What would it look like? And really keep coming back to, what is it that I'm wanting and desiring? Let me really sit in that and feel it. And then a reminder here too, it's okay to feel overwhelmed and unsure at times. Everyone has felt that way at some point. What's important is that we acknowledge it, that we tell ourselves it's okay to feel that way, that we validate our feelings, that we embrace our feelings and we embrace our vulnerabilities. And even, I know it's hard for us Unity folks, but even to sit in discomfort with not being okay. Because we want it all to be positive and good and happy. But you know what? It's okay to sit with, I'm uncomfortable right now. To acknowledge that. Because it actually allows us to move through it versus pushing it away and resisting it. And then we show up stronger the next time for ourselves. That's what happens. It actually helps you show up stronger the next time because you think, oh, I remember this uncomfortable feeling and I can move through it and come out stronger. So being okay with all the feelings, acknowledging them, embracing them. They're not going to be around forever, like the weather. Thank goodness I don't like the rain, so. See, the sun is coming out. Same thing with our feelings and emotions. And then the next thing we remember when we're getting stuck is it's okay to make mistakes along the way. This is especially true for us perfectionists, right? It's okay to make mistakes along the way. In fact, here's a great study that came out just last week. It said that the sweet spot for learning is to get things right 85% of the time. Do you know what that means? That means 15% of the time you're supposed to mess up. Yay. Thank you, Betsy. Yay. You're supposed to mess up 15% of the time in order to learn the most, to get the most out of learning a new skill or a new task or doing it right. Yay. Yeah. The next, detach your worth from your expectations. Yeah, you are worthy of love. You're worthy of good things. You're worthy of good people in your life. So embrace how love and goodness show up, not your expectation of how you think it should show up or how you think love and goodness in your life looks like, but really observe and notice and embrace how it actually is showing up in your life, because it's there. Love and goodness is absolutely there. So it's about embracing it, detaching from the expectations, and embracing what is right there in front of you. Corey Mascara is a life coach I've just recently been following, and here's what he has to say. The greatest loss we'll ever experience is the life we could have lived if we just let go and trusted that the universe takes care of a surrendered heart. Surrendering. So that's our last step. Surrender. When we get stuck, surrender our heart and trust. The universe, that love, is here always to support you. Surrender your heart. You will be taken care of. So let's stop playing small, because when you play small, then you don't live out your full expression of your full divinity. And thus, you don't live out your fullest life experience by playing it safe. And you don't serve the universe into which you were born, because you were born during this time in history, in this location. There's a reason that you're right here, right now. You don't need to save the whole world. I think a lot of times that trips us up, because we think, oh, I got to be a light in the world. Wow, well, that's overwhelming. I got to light up the whole world? I got to fix the whole world? No, it doesn't mean you got to cure all the cancers or cure all the homelessness in our county or our country, unless that's your specialty, and that's yours to do. But I have a feeling for most of us, that's not ours to do. So what's ours to do is to share our gift, and it doesn't have to be huge. Your gift can be, I like to give smiles to everyone I meet. My mom loves to give Tootsie Rolls out to everyone's laughing. Every restaurant we go to, my mom gives a Tootsie Roll to somebody. But she loves to get the smiles. She gets smiles. She's done hugs before the pandemic, of course. She's gone out to Santa Barbara. She stands there with her friends, free hugs. That's her gift. She wants to make people feel happy. It can be as simple as that, or as big as curing cancer, right? It doesn't matter the size, is what I'm trying to make sure you hear. It just needs to be significant to you. Because whatever is significant to you is significant to all of us. When you live your full expression of you, your white stone name, your spiritual name, then you're expressing your divine nature, and then you can be more kind and shine your light and your power in your home, amongst your friends, amongst your family, your coworkers, your co-volunteers. And that's your world. That's how you make your world a better place. You can be powerful in your world and then create the life you want to create for yourself. But we can't let our light scare us. We can't be afraid to shine it. The world, when each of us steps into our own light and power, then the world's consciousness is raised. That heart vibration is raised. And then we're all better for it. At the Regional Unity Conference for Ministers and Church Leaders last October, Reverend Shad Groverland, who is the CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministries, was speaking about traditional churches, and often their marketing is about saving lives. And we often think in Unity that we don't save lives, and we don't in that traditional Christian sense, and yet we do. We do save lives. We start with ourselves. We remember that Christ within, that divinity within us. We do our inner work. And in doing our inner work and remembering our divinity, we raise our consciousness. And by raising our consciousness, we invite others to do the same just by being the light in the room. How many times have people said to you, wow, you're so positive and you get through these challenges with grace. What are you doing? That's you showing up with your unity principles, raising your consciousness because you've done that inner work, because you're remembering who you are. And that's how we save lives, one at a time and then together. So here's from Matthew chapter 5, 14 to 15. Up here, you are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. See, by shining your light, you give light to all of us. So when you're feeling stuck and you're forgetting that you're powerful beyond measure, here's just the reminders. There we go. You're going to breathe. You're going to take one small step at a time. You're going to keep feeling yourself in that desired result. You're going to embrace the difficult feelings and vulnerabilities that may arise. It's okay to make mistakes. That's actually how you're going to learn better. And you are worthy of all the goodness the universe has to offer. And be sure to surrender your heart. No more resisting it. You are powerful beyond measure. And now is the time to prove it to yourself. Blessings, everyone. Amen.